another 767 bound for Europe. Over 8 hours in the air, at night over the North Atlantic. There's no room for error. Nothing can be left to chance. These extended range, or ER aircraft, have special systems, and they require special maintenance practices. 767s departing from U.S. gateway cities to Europe are governed by both the 767 MEL and the 767 International Supplement MEL, a separate section with yellow pages. Anytime a component is replaced on an ER aircraft, you must first make sure it is an ER qualified part. Check the illustrated parts catalog if you are unsure of any part's applicability. Next, as with any aircraft, ER or domestic, you must verify that the replaced component is operative, either by a functional ground test or by one of the methods we will discuss in this program. When you have verified that the part functions properly, you must write how you verified the operation of the component in the E6 log. To further explain these requirements and their importance to our ER operations, here is Jack Nelligan.
There's been a lot of discussion recently about the special maintenance requirements, specifically on the 767 international aircraft. They are different than those on the DC-10 and the 747, even though those two previous aircraft are internationally qualified. Therefore, we have to take special precautions when we are servicing these aircraft at our gateway cities, and also in the maintenance detail required when reporting in the logbook on maintenance action. I'm going to speak today on two specific subjects, one of which is verification of repairs after maintenance has been done on certain systems, and also on the special MEL requirements of ER aircraft as they are applied when an aircraft is set to depart from a gateway city to Europe. Verification of repairs. What we specifically mean by verification of repairs is the way we prove that our maintenance action has been effective. We can do that in one of three ways. We can do it by following the maintenance manual procedures on checkout of a system. We can do it during a domestic flight leg of an internationally equipped aircraft, checking out that specific system which has been reported as malfunctioning by the pilots, or we can fly the airplane on a special functional check flight leg. When we are complete with the maintenance actions, we must describe in the E6 log exactly what we did, including the type of check which was done, to verify that the system is operational. Simply stating that you have replaced a component is not adequate. You must state what functional check you achieved in order to prove that the system was working. As I mentioned, that check can take one of three forms, either per the maintenance manual, a ground operational run, a domestic flight run, or a special functional check flight. Verification is always required on the 20 systems which are specifically spelled out in the General Maintenance Manual as being critical to the international or ER operation. I will also give you some information on placarding systems inoperative for the international operation, but before I do that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Bob Zimney. Bob is a tech foreman from Tulsa Tech Services, and he is going to give you an example of the verification requirements on the pneumatic systems on the 767 ER. The system is absolutely critical to operation of the international flights.
Thank you, Jack. We've generated a MA to assist you in your troubleshooting and also in the proper documentation of logbook sign-off upon repair of this bleed system on the 767. Basically, we have 10 components listed in this MA and the maintenance manual requirements for checking the systems out after removal replacement of these components. The checks that we call out for in the MA are not that much different than what is being done right now, and probably in the field we are probably doing more than what is actually being required. However, as Jack has pointed out, our documentation has been rather marginal in cases. The MA will be in the form of a flow chart specifying which checks are required upon, for example, the change of a pressure regulating shutoff valve. And the primary difference being with a PRSOV change on a ER aircraft versus a domestic aircraft or a domestic routed aircraft is that an engine run-up to verify system operation will be required. The maintenance manual has also been revised in regards to a couple other pneumatic system components. The PRV controller and the bleed air panel or bleed air select switches. The removal replacement procedures have been enhanced a little bit. These will be reflected in the MA, and the maintenance manual will be revised. This MA will be released to the field very shortly. The troubleshooting of the bleed system on the 767 has come a long ways in the last year or so, and the reliability of the system has improved greatly. The primary reason for that is that you in the field are understanding this system. There is a great video out right now called the Boeing 767 Pneumatic Special that will provide you basic system operation and as troubleshooting tips, and could be useful as a refresher on this system. Thank you. Back to you, Jack.
The systems which must be verified according to the General Maintenance Manual, soon to become the General Procedures Manual, will be listed in Chapter 22. There are some 20 systems which require verification. Among them, pneumatics, as Bob mentioned, electrical system, flight controls, fuel system, air conditioning. You must refer to this system, the various systems in the General Procedures Manual, when you are servicing the aircraft. The MEL requirements for international operation appear in the supplemental portion or international portion of the basic MEL and must be referred to before departing on an international flight. You must check both the yellow and the white pages to make sure that you're in compliance with the basic MEL and the international MEL before you dispatch an aircraft on an international flight. You've seen some examples in previous training films on this subject. Among those which come to mind are the special requirements that both packs be operating on an international aircraft dispatched over water, whereas domestically the airplane can be dispatched on a flight leg with one pack inoperative. Another example would be pneumatic system. As Bob pointed out, it is permissible in certain circumstances to placard a pneumatic system on a domestic flight. It is never permitted on an international flight departing out of a U.S. city to be placarded. There are some other changes in autopilot and navigation systems which you should refer to when you are servicing the aircraft. In conclusion, verification of maintenance actions is absolutely essential when servicing the international aircraft. You must prove in one of three ways that the system is operational, either through a maintenance procedures checkout, through a functional check flight, or through a domestic flight operating leg to verify that that system is working. And in the verification of that system, you must relate that to the E6 log, just exactly how you have verified the system is working. Keep in mind that in 6 months, when someone is reviewing the logbook for maintenance actions, that maintenance action will stand alone without a spokesman as to just exactly what you did to verify the system is operating. If you have any questions concerning verification requirements, functional check flight requirements, technical questions of any type, please call Tech Services at their 24-hour number. They will be more than glad to assist you.
When an ER aircraft departs for Europe from a U.S. gateway city, 2 questions must be asked. Have you performed the proper system operational checks? Have you documented the verification process in the logbook? Mechanics who service any American Airlines aircraft must be able to answer yes to both of these questions. Failing to complete both of these steps on an ER aircraft could result in fines from the FAA or even losing our approval for extended range operations.